Hey there, it's Jacqueline here of WeGoSolo.world, and today I thought I would talk to you about travelling and being safe as a lone female traveller. So I'm going to divide this into two parts. First of all, I'm going to just talk quickly about before you travel, what preparation you should make, and then once you're on the road itself. So before you travel, look at the Foreign Office. If you are a bit concerned about the place you're going to, go onto the Foreign Office site. There is a safety section there that will tell you about any unrest or anything that you need to be aware of. If you're not in the UK, check out your local, the government office, the recommended organisation that gives you information with regard to travelling overseas and visiting different countries. Of course, you need to bring common sense into it as well, as with anywhere you travel. On that note, I would also add that if you're travelling alone for the first time, perhaps India wouldn't be a great place to start off. That could be very challenging. So the likes of, if looking at further afield, you could look at Thailand, Australia, New Zealand, places that are well-worn paths for female solo travellers to go through, or European cities as well. Now, the other thing I would also do is health requirements. Make sure that all your vaccinations are up to date and you have everything you need. If you're in the UK, some of your vaccinations you can get for free from your doctors. If you do need to take malaria tablets, make sure you give yourself plenty of time for that and the vaccinations. Some malaria tablets as well, you do need to carry on and take the course when you come back home. So that is vitally, vitally important that you do finish the course as well. Another thing to look at is with regards to the country you are visiting, the laws and customs there. Going into temples and places of worship, it's not appropriate to have bare shoulders, wear shorts, have a short skirt, pop a sarong in your bag, so you're all ready and all covered for that. Also, with regards to being touchy-feely in a good way, I admit myself, I'm a very tactile person, but that might not be appropriate. That could be seen as very offensive, and some places as well, eye contact can be offensive. So do have a look and check and see what the customs and regulations are, because the whole point is that you want to blend in, and that's the way you should be going, and just blending in with the locals there as well. Other things to think about, so I think that kind of covers it before you go off. Now, when you're out there, you're bound to get lost. Everybody gets lost. But standing on the street in San Jose looking completely lost and alone is very different to standing on the street in Sydney. So if you are lost and you need some help and advice, it might be a good idea to pop into a shop there or restaurant and ask them. With regard to mobile phones, using your mobile phones, especially at night times, and perhaps more so when you've had a drink, I would highly, highly recommend that you do not stand on a deserted street late at night on your phone. You've had a drink. Likewise on a beach, you might be thinking, wow, that beach is beautiful, there's nobody here, absolutely perfect for me to make my call. No, you're distracted, you're not aware of what's going on around you. Do go inside, find somewhere safe so you can catch up with family and friends. You might be calling them because of the time difference, or just to have a catch up. But make sure you make that phone call in a safe environment and not standing out where you are vulnerable and alone, and very obviously alone in a deserted area. I did touch on there if you've had a drink. Don't get me wrong, I love a drink and having a great time as much as other people, as my friends will well and truly testify. But be sensible, don't have far too much to drink. Have a card for your accommodation so you know the address that you're going to. Keep hold of your drinks at all times, and also don't cut on costs. Get yourself a taxi, make sure you get home safely. Someone might be offering to help you. They might well be a knight in shining armour, but then again they might not. So personally, I wouldn't have some stranger escort me home and say they're going to get me home safely. I would have spoken to my accommodation beforehand, got recommendations on a local taxi firm, and I would have their details and their card with me as well. It might well be that you actually book the taxi in, before you arrive, if you know you've got a certain cut-off time, you're doing something the next day, or you just don't want to sort of stay there too late. So that choice is entirely yours, but just make sure that you stay safe, okay? Beaten track, going off the beaten track. Now, I absolutely love walking. I do lots and lots of walking, hiking, tramping, whatever you want to call it. Adore it, really adore it. But I wouldn't take myself, even in the daytime, off on some remote path. I would see where I'm staying, if there's some people there that want to go and do the walk with me. You might be able to get a local guide to go with you, because it can be, use your common sense again. If you're wandering around somewhere really remote, depending on the country you're in, then it might not be so great. But that could happen in any country. So use your common sense and just do what's right. You hear these awful stories as well, people going off the beaten path on these long treks and they can't get back again and they're lost and stranded. So yeah, just take care and seek advice from locals. That's a great thing to do. Now, valuables. Looking at your valuables, you don't need to have everything with you. If your accommodation's got a safe or you've got somewhere to put your things, then make sure you use that. Don't carry everything around with you. If you've got a day pack you're walking around with, you might want to have that on the front of you instead of on the back of you. When I was in San Jose in Costa Rica, we were warned about not having things on the back because people would slit and take the contents out. So just be careful. Padlocks sounds a bit strange, but I always do pack extra padlocks. I have used them before for accommodation on these little beach huts. That's a really cool thing to do. But padlocks, if you're using them in a hostel and you're using lockers, you do use the combination locks and have those with you. Now, what else have we got here? So the final thing I would say really is instincts. Trust your instincts. If it doesn't feel right, if you feel nervous, uncomfortable, then get yourself out of there. Don't worry about being rude. Just leave. Leave as soon as possible. Now, saying all of this, please don't be scared. Don't be scared. Once you go off travelling, you will see how wonderful it is and what a great experience it is. And the more you do it, the more you will just want to keep on doing it. So on that note, if you are going off travelling or if you just want to come and say hi, do come and join our free community at wegosolo.world. You can plot your trips and there are some blogs on there as well. And we're getting the vlogs on there also. Okay then, take care. Until the next time. Bye.